I welcome you to this lesson 5. It's P5, Term 1. I'm Teacher Mandy of Term 1. It's P5 English, Term 1. Those who are following using workbooks, you'll find this work on page 10. Yes, page 10 of that workbook of P5, Term 1, Train Up a Child School. Okay. Today we are looking at an aspect of English which is comprehension. We have comprehension, composition, grammar, structure, all those aspects we can be taught in English lessons. For today, we are looking at comprehension, which involves reading, understanding. Before you try answering any question, you have to read, then you understand what you have read, because it's always shameful to answer without reading. That means you'll be here for guesswork. And you can't pass, you can't excel if you are relying on guesswork. Read, understand. That's what comprehension is all about. If you see question 1 very short, it may be easy to answer. But before you try it, you have to read and understand what you're going to answer in your question 1. So in today's comprehension, we look at a poem. And that poem, like any other question in section B, yes, has its instructions. Instructions are here. Read the poem below about the mechanic. Yes, about the mechanic. And answer the questions about it in full sentences. I repeat the instructions. Read the poem below about the mechanic and answer the questions that follow in full sentences. So we have this poem. We are going to read it together if possible. If you can, slow down to my speed and move together, I will be grateful. So let's start. Popoli Popo, Popoli Popo. It's a strange name. It's a name. Popoli Popo, Popoli Popo. Popoli Popo, a great mechanic. Popoli Popo, Popoli Popo. In the village, I am a mechanic. In the city, I am a mechanic. Bring your car, I am a mechanic. Bring your lorry, I am a mechanic. Bring your bicycle, I am a mechanic. Popo, lipopo, popo, lipopo. Bring my jug, bring my nuts and spanner. Bring my tools, bring my box. Popo, lipopo. Should be on here. Popo, lipopo, I am a mechanic. Spare parts I have, old I have, plus new ones. Popo, lipopo, popo, lipopo. For a great job that, no, this is pay popo, lipopo. Pay popo, lipopo for the great job, greater job done. Let's repeat, this time I think more accurately, and move. Read the poem below and answer the questions. Read the poem below about the mechanic and answer the questions about it in full sentences. Popo, lipopo, popo, lipopo. Popo, lipopo, a great mechanic. Popo, lipopo, popo, lipopo. In the village, I am a mechanic. In the city, I am a mechanic. Bring your car, I am a mechanic. Bring your lorry, I am a mechanic. Bring your bicycle, I am a mechanic. Popo, lipopo, popo, lipopo. Bring my jug, bring my nuts and spanner. Bring my tools, bring my box. Popo, lipopo, I am a mechanic. Spare parts I have, old I have, plus new ones. Pay popo, lipopo, popo, lipopo, for the greater job done. And rather. When you say and rather at the bottom, what comes into your mind? You obviously know that must be the poet, yes, or that poem. The one who wrote it. One who writes poems is a poet. So when you see and rather just at the bottom of the poem, you obviously think of and rather being our poet. So we have questions about that poem as you have read it. If you have been reading with a teacher, let's try out these questions. Question 1 is, What is the poem about? What is the poem about? Like I normally emphasize, we need to master the tricks that will help us pass questions of section D, compression. What is the poem about? Go back, reread the poem, you'll see what it's about. Where possible, you are free to read even the instructions. You start from instructions. Read the poem below about the mechanic. Hey, for me, I've got the answer. So you underline where that answer is, and you'll be able to write it here according to the tense in the question. Follow the tense in the question. So he will tell us the poem is about dash. You complete. But I've got my answer from the instructions. It is always important to read instructions. Sometimes instructions have the answer that we need. When you read instructions here, you'll be able to get the answer to question 1. Question number 2 is, what is the name of the mechanic in the poem? What is the name of the mechanic in the poem? The name of the mechanic in the poem is A. Complete. 3. What do you think is the work of the mechanic? What do you think is the work of the mechanic? At the level P5, we are able to reason and understand. The teacher taught you about vehicle repair and maintenance, lesson 1. Now, I believe he talked about this very word, mechanic. So he's now asking you, what do you think is the work of a mechanic? This is what I would call the heart of your answer, or the heart of your question. What do you think? The moment you come across such words in your question, this kind of phrasing, yes, you're supposed to answer beginning I. Don't say you. You'll say I. This you refers to the person answering the question. So you begin your answer with I, because right now you're the one thinking, not anyone else, not the teacher, but the child. So you say, I, as a person, think. Teacher, do you mean all questions with what do you think require me to start like that? Obviously. If the question begins, what do you think? The child answering will begin, I think. Don't say anything before you write, I think. If the question has this kind of phrasing, what do you think? What do you think? Why do you think God created the universe? I think God created the universe. What do you think is the work of the mechanic? I think the work of the mechanic. You're not thinking as a serious child. P5, term 1, ready to go to P6. I think the work of the mechanic is complete. When we see what the whole dialogue is about, the whole poem is about, and you see the words used, spanner, mechanic, with the village of a mechanic, bicycle road, I'm a mechanic, yes, you already know the work of the mechanic is to repair. Repair what? Vehicles. Repair is to fix. Full stop. I think the work of the mechanic is repair vehicles. Simple as that. That's where we stop in our answer. But I've emphasized one thing today. If the question has this kind of phrasing, you begin with I think. I think. In fact, before the teacher reads these other words of yours, you will have keen interest in this expression, I think. What do you think? I think. Don't say, the work of the mechanic is blah. Even if your tense is perfect, the teacher will not give much attention to this. First this, then this. Okay. You're going to try number 4 alone. 5, 6 up to the last number. Let's go through together. From where does the mechanic do his job according to the poem? From where does the mechanic do his job according to the poem? The mechanic does his job from A and B according to the poem. When you read stanza 1, you'll be able to get the answer to question 4. The answer to question 4 should be found in stanza 1. Okay. Apart from big vehicles, what else does this mechanic repair? Apart from big vehicles, what else does this mechanic repair? Still, let me show you something important in your answer. Apart from big vehicles. Don't you think you need those words in your answer? For me, I think so. Yes, I think yes. Apart from big vehicles, what else does this mechanic repair? You'll say, apart from big vehicles, obviously you need a comma before you continue with other words when you ask. Apart from big vehicles, this mechanic also. Apart from big vehicles, this mechanic also repairs. You tell us. For me, I will be coming back in the next lesson. Yes, with the right answers. For now, I just want you to try it. In the next lesson, we'll be discussing the answers together. Yes, that's when I will come up with the answers. But for now, I'm not sure I know every answer. I believe, I only know this one. The rest you know. But after maybe 1 week, yes, I'll come back with the right answers. I have remembered. Okay. Apart from big vehicles, this mechanic also repairs blah blah blah. 6. Why do you think this mechanic should be paid? Why do you think this mechanic should be paid? I can see the word pay. Pay this mechanic for the great job, greater job done. Yeah. The answer must be in the last 3 lines. Yes, that's my opinion. Why do you think this mechanic should be paid? How do you start your answer? Check this. Do you think? Why do you think? I think. Remember that teacher told you? The question is, why? What do you think? Here, why do you think? Still, the same technique should be applied in your answer. I think this mechanic should be paid for complete. Finally, not finally, second last question. We have write 3 tools mentioned in the poem. Write 3 tools mentioned in the poem. Those tools, those items, the what? The mechanic, Mr. Popolipopo, uses to do his job. They are mentioned in the poem. Write them. Remember one thing. When writing the name of a tool, for example, if I have thought of a tool as, let's say, a spanner, I have answer A. Let me write it here where you can see. I've thought of my answer as spanner. The teacher just told me to write 3 tools mentioned in the poem. I'm just writing them. I have this spanner. I also have this one, which looks like someone's name. 1, 2. If you have 1 and answer 2, trust me, this answer will be crossed. Why? You've written spanner like it's a place of a village. It's a place of a name of a village. It's a name of a person or a name of a building. So you don't need capital S in your word spanner. What do you need? Small s, because spanner is a common noun. This shows spanner is proper noun. But we have spanner, which is a proper noun, not in Uganda, not in English. That's why this one will be crossed, because you have written it appearing like a proper noun. Yes. So be careful. If your tool is a spanner, write it with a small s. No full stop. No full stop. Don't forget that. Do not put a full stop. Our very last question. But in our question 7, we need 3 answers. So we are asked to write 3 tools mentioned in the poem. The first one is a spanner. I've already given that to you. Fine. Question 8. Who wrote the poem above? who wrote the poem above. I told you, the person who normally writes poems appears at the bottom. If you read the whole poem and you don't see the person who wrote it, expect that answer at the bottom. Or expect the teacher to ask you to suggest the person you think wrote the poem. Yes, when you read the way it appears, you'll be able to guess who wrote it. But in this case, we have been given the person who wrote it. That's a poet at the bottom. Who wrote the poem above? X wrote the poem above. Remember to highlight your answers or to underline them before you write them in your gaps in the booklet. This activity is on page 10 and 11 of our book. We've reached the end of our lesson, our comprehension lesson today. It was P.5 English comprehension, and the comprehension was about a poem. See you next time. And next time, by the way, we are supposed to discuss, maybe, let me be clear, to get the exact answers to this activity. So if you want to know, maybe there is a question that has challenged you, don't miss our next lesson. That's when we are going to have answers to these questions from 1 up to 8 in full. See you next time. I remain Teacher Monday, P5 English, Term 1. Thanks for watching.